We've polished up the headlights because we know that the Europeans are very particular about certain things, and headlights would be one. And we have nice new trim chrome rings back on, and we have the yellow zinc chromate, and then we have the back of it. A nice sending unit goes back in. Or excuse me, should I say pickup? This is a fuel pickup. This will be going back in, and then we're going to be putting in a brand new fuel sending unit. That's what's here. Goes right down in. Brand new gasket, brand new sending unit. You can see the box. These are the reflectors that go on the rear of the quarter panel, and we don't see reflectors like this in the United States for the most part. This is probably a European type style. It's a fairly shallow reflector. I don't have one to show you from the United States version, but the US ones are a little bit deeper. So what we're doing is we find these lenses were cracked and or the studs in the back were junk. So what we've done is restored them. We've sort of what we call JB weld, which is a type of plastic or even almost liquid metal that you do to add to plastic or steel or anything. But anyway, we've JB welded a new stud in there. And we've taken it and we're going to take this reflector and grind it right down around that pattern, and then this is what happens. So we have a brand new reflector in there. Other things that we're doing is Hank's doing some nice stuff here. He's putting new liquid rubber around all the newly restored yellow zinc chromate brackets. So if there's poor rubber there, we're just going through and doing all new liquid coating on all of them. And you can see all the ones that we've done right here. We're doing some work here on the wiring harness, and we're doing inspection and repair. Not a lot of repair for this. You know, there's not a lot of issues with this harness. It's more dirty than anything else. You know, it'll have issues here and there. We'll do some welding in or soldering in of patch wire. Whenever we put wire in, we'll put the proper trace wire in, etc., etc. What we do is just go through and peel off all the old tape and conduit, which is all pretty dirty, and then inspect it and then retape it with 3M, a high quality 3M tape. It's called 3M Scotch Super Tape 30 Plus, and it's a really great tape. It works well, doesn't unravel, and we just go through tons and tons of this stuff. So nice to see. Plus we're doing a lot of heat shrinking over here of tubes, heat shrinking line around it. Work continues on the wiring harness, and you can actually see a division between actually new harness, restored harness over here, all inspected, cleaned up, ends are nice, and then we're going to start to continue to peel it off over here. Corrugation in the middle will be cleaned up and or reused. One of the things that we did find, we found some new grommets the other day. We replaced these grommets, which are nice, that go through the firewall. But the inspection continues. We also have our schematic. So this is all done with brand new corrugation, and they even use yellow tape at the factory, and we've used that in fact. So that's a nice factory type of look on there. We've done a nice little thing where we just labeled a couple different things to make sure we know where things go. It's very subtle, but important for rewiring. We've also cleaned up a bunch of relays here. All these relays go to certain things, glow plugs, horns, things like that, and we've tried to make them as original as possible, keeping a lot of that decal or imprint on them. So it says here waiting to be installed. Installation day is occurring with the wiring harness going right back into the dash underneath there. We have all the pulls and all the plugs for those pulls dropping down and going through certain openings, which is looking fine. You can see that we have the wiring harness on the other side draped out. And also see being installed is the wiring harness for the other side, passenger side, excuse me, going through, and will be plugged into the main harness underneath the dash. It's just taken this heater box and cleaned it up, painted it in a factory gray color, and of course using our yellow zinc chromate bolts. Assembly continues. The top has been painted as well, and inside brand new foam. And we'll have brand new foam here that seals this. Actually, that gasket's original. Yep, it's the original gasket that's going to be on there, and it just cleans up real fine. Again, it was sent out, and some of the details here: yellow zinc chromate, and then the around it is a little bit of a rubber to hold that, a little bit of a rubber coating. Then we can see the 3-ohm resistor. That resistor is allowing the blower motor to be between high and low settings. But overall, it's just a really crisp